Hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna just share my story in this video about how I got started in the car business. What do I do? How do I help people out? And how I got started with this whole thing, right? Because I'm sure at this point, one of the biggest things is, you guys have probably been following me, or if you're watching my YouTube channel just in general, probably wondering like, hey, how did this guy, I'm waiting for the sensor to stay on because I don't want the lights to turn off in this room. As you can see, it's a pretty nice room. I love filming in here. It might be a little bit echoey, but it is what it is right now. So I just want to share like kind of my story in business, how I got to being in car sales, and then why I do what I do and why I enjoy it so much. And then, kind of what my plans are for the future with what I currently do. So, if I were to start back in the beginning, so just like everyone, I feel like most entrepreneurs or people who are kind of self-motivated to want to go make their own money, I had a personal vested interest. I just graduated high school back in 2019, and I was fresh out. And so in high school in Washington, there's this program called Running Start. If you're not familiar with what Running Start is a 2-year program where you get to basically start college in the high school, right? So I originally in high school, like my idea since I was 8, I've always wanted to be like a electrical engineer, because I had a conversation with my family back in the day. They asked me what do I want to be, what do I want to do, and they're like, hey, you know what, you should go to school for electrical engineering, right? Because you can make 6 figures with what you do and you have a stable job, whatever, right? Typical Asian American type of stuff, and you guys might be able to relate to that. So yeah, I kind of had this path like carved out for me since the beginning, and that's what I wanted to do when I was going through high school and going through school just in general. So when I got into, so here's what happened, right? So like when I got into Running Start, I started taking classes to start working towards the degree, right? And I always thought I was good at math, right? Because, stereotypes aside, I always was pretty good at it. And so I got into college, started taking like calculus, started taking some other engineering classes, and I figured out I really didn't like it. And, so I went through the whole, rest of the 2 years just taking a bunch of random classes, and I ended up, when I graduated high school, I had like just a bunch of random credits. So I got like my general studies associates, which I was fine with. Because before I even graduated, I was like, I don't even want to go to college. Like, I don't want to go to college. One, I don't have the money. Two, like, I just don't want to do anything within it. So yeah, as soon as I graduated, I was like, okay, what can I do to go make money? So then I got a job at a Costco back in 2019 of March, I believe, March of 2019. That's when I started. And so basically worked there for 3 months, and then I was like, okay, cool. I've always been kind of curious. I'm like, what else can I do to, essentially generate more income, right? Because like, fuck, I don't want to just do this. Like, I was making like $15 an hour, which at the time was okay. It was above minimum wage, wasn't terrible. And so I was working for like 3 months, and then I kind of got sucked into the Costco culture, and like, it's corporate. So I was like, I kind of want to move up here, become a manager, and just have like, because you can make like 6 figures there as a manager, right? And I wanted to do that because, it's like just long-term, stable, whatever. And as I went though, researching how to make money online, I looked into the typical things like drop shipping, Facebook or Amazon FBA, and then I came across this so-called course from Tai Lopez. You guys are probably familiar with him. He's super big in the online education space, and so it's called SMMA 2.0, right? And so it's basically a social media marketing agency for back in 2019. So it's taught me how to run ads, whatever, right? And so it sparked my idea and of building a business. So this is I started to go, build my business. And I started in October of 2019. I've opened the business legally as an LLC. And I, started to go prospect. And, I started with whatever I could. Like, I would do walk-ins to, like, bars, restaurants, literally tire shops, literally, like, anywhere I could go and ask for potential clients, like nail salons. I remember driving down the strip for like 2, 3, 4, 5 miles and just walking into every single store and just being like, hey, here's my flyer. Oh my God. So I did that for like, a few months, and then I came across, I was like, okay, cool. The first course that I bought didn't really work. It just basically showed me how to open up a business, right? Then from there, came across this guy over Facebook teaching people how to run Facebook ads for car dealerships. And so for me, I've always had a affinity for cars. I just loved cars. I still love cars with a passion. And I was like, cool, let me learn about how to generate leads for car dealerships. And then from there, we signed like a couple clients. Didn't make any money because I was basically working for free. And then from there, I picked that and just kind of kept going at it for for the next year and a half, just working with people, just getting that's where, I started door to door, just walking in, setting appointments. And I did this for a very long time, just eating shit for a very long time, learning how to run Facebook ads, just learning how to sell, book appointments, and just kind of going through the ringer there. And, that's where I learned a lot about just running Facebook ad campaigns, lead generation, and understanding why people buy cars and all these things about just marketing in general for car dealerships. And then I've just always kind of stuck with it since then. And then fast forward, quit my job at Costco. I'm not going to get into all the fiasco that kind of went on there. Quit the job, went all in on running that agency, and then basically scaled it up. Contracted 10K back in October 2021. And then I just didn't really like the complex of it because I would be running these advertising budgets, I've helped hundreds of people sell hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cars, and then it was just working for them and setting up their campaigns, whatever. Just kind of felt like an employee, and didn't feel any mutual respect from my clients at the time, and it wasn't very fun. So I stopped, right? And then I was thinking about it, and all the time that I spent walking into these dealerships and working these leads and generating all these setting up these campaigns, organic stuff for them as well. I realized every time I walked into these dealerships, there's a lot of these salesmen who just are just sitting there, and they'd always watch me and be like, who are you looking for? I'm like, I'm looking for the owner, when I was doing my walk-ins, right? And I realized there's a big need for these salespeople, right? These sales guys a lot of them end up waiting and dying by the door, and just don't have any good ways of generating their own business. And so effectively what ended up happening is I was like, okay, cool. Now that I have this background in marketing, I understand how to put out content, put out content, run ads, generate leads, build a brand. I fully understand how to do all these things now. Let me show these guys how to do it. And so, started talking to salesmen, people were interested, started working with them, started getting results, and it's been going good, just kept scaling it, kept on dialing in what worked and what didn't work, and then to this point, we have a pretty good system to get people to 6 figures with car sales and beyond, and scaling a business, right? And so one of the epiphanies that I kind of came across is that these guys are just business owners. A lot of these guys don't see themselves as that. So now I'm a business coach that just happens to be in car sales, which is really rather interesting. It's like, that's how I got here, just like I somehow sprouted into this industry and have quite frankly been able to provide good results, which is great, so I'm gonna keep doing that. And the reason why we've been able to get such good results is because I've learned how to run a business. I've learned how to sell, market, and provide a great service. And not only that, but these guys are getting good results, and I'm just showing them what I've done. I'm just showing, hey, this is what worked for me, try it. And over time, with all the clients that I've worked with, now over 30, at this point in time, it's just like, okay, well, this is what worked, this is why it should work, that type of deal. And yeah, a lot of these guys are, bagging an extra $2 to $5 grand a month. And, that's pretty big for some of these guys. It's just like, if you're making, like, I know some guys only making like 50K a year selling cars, it's just like, well, that's double your income, so that's how we can get people to six figures rather consistently. And then once you get to six figures, it's then giving you the tools to help you scale. So, a lot of the things is helping you with your mindset, starting to think like an entrepreneur, starting to have like good habits, like, just having a solid routine, consistently outreaching, showing you how to do a good outreach, showing you how to track your numbers so that you know your closing ratio, like what your holes are in your game. And then, showing you how to build a brand and, build something that's long-term, right? And build something that has longevity in this business. So, yeah, I've just been able to, quite frankly, help quite a lot of people, because now that I've learned how to at least scale my business, it's just showing you guys how to scale your business. And so it's been a ton of fun. And that's kind of how I just kind of stumbled into this industry. Like, that's kind of what happened. Like, I wasn't in sales selling cars originally. So I just recognized that there was a problem there and that I had a skill set that could help you guys. So like, it ended up working out where, it's like, okay, I know how to generate you guys leads, and you guys don't get leads, so like, here's how you do it. And I've been showing people since then. And then it's like, okay, well, you guys actually have a lot more other problems than just generating leads, like mindset, like having good systems and processes and tracking your numbers and just basic stuff that, I've learned over the years of running my business. Is just like, okay, here's what's worked for me as well. It's just like, and that's the biggest thing with like business in general. Like, business is just like the same thing across different industries. Because like, I know if I went into like any other industry, I'd be able to produce very similar results for a lot of different people. There are different variables and whatnot, but the principles and basics still, apply to every single business. And, as you grow a business and as you get deeper into any entrepreneurship or any kind of game, you realize that. It's about having, a good character, the basic soft skills, and then, being able to understand how to scale things. So, yeah, that's just kind of my story of like how I got into being a business coach that happens to be in car sales. It's just like, that's my thing. And now one of my biggest missions is to help you guys understand like, hey, we need to have this specific mindset when we approach car sales. And this is how you can grow a business. And this is how you should operate a business, because you guys are business owners at the end of the day. So now with a lot of my content, my mission is to shift your guys, like give you the tools, give you the mindset, and, help you implement it, right? So that's a lot of the things with why I'm dedicating this content to you guys. It's just like, okay, let me help you guys, make these fundamental shifts so that you guys can build and, gain financial freedom, because I have, vested interest in helping other people do that as well, because I've been able to accomplish that somewhat to myself right now, which is great. So I'm giving you guys this control over your guys' life, business, and in general, just like your life, it's just, that's something that makes me happy. So yeah, just wanted to share a little bit about me, how I got here. And yeah, hopefully that makes you guys understand. I mean, shit, like if you guys, that either makes you completely understand why I've been able to help so many people hit six figures in sales and, be able to help them scale, or that completely disqualifies me as some kind of young, naive kid. In some ways, might be true. That knows nothing about the business, then that's completely okay too, because you can have your opinion. But either way, the facts still stand, and hopefully this gives you a better idea of who I am and what I'm trying to do. So I'll catch you guys in another video.